with an opening statement from Coach and go on questions.
Disappointing game for us tonight. Hard to win when you have 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, especially on the road. Disappointing, I think, for us as a group because I think it's one of the more selfish games that we've had this year. Had a couple of good runs where we passed the ball and did some good things, but again, if the lack of passing, I think, leads to the letdowns on the defensive end.
The first time you guys they played the zone. I think they hadn't played much zone at that point, so it was a little bit of a surprise. The zone was a little bit more effective today too.
Yeah, and you know, we were, I think we were prepared well enough the first time. It was a surprise that they started the game in the zone, but again, it's a great lesson of learning to do it with not dribbling. Like you pass the ball, change sides of the floors. I think we found success, and we showed them, clips of the zone, like it just, happened tonight. They were in the zone the first half. We jumped out to that lead, played well. They got to the zone, ran the zone play. We scored, and then we, I'll take part of that blame. Didn't keep going back to it. So, and then sometimes we get sped up. But again, we made mention many times the first game we took on Diop and them at the rim, and those block shots are, instead of passing the ball, those led to fast break layups for them. So it's frustrating that we replicated some of the same mistakes we made in the first game.
Coach, I'm Max Colway with Rancho Solano High School Sports Journalism class. As an inspiring coach, I'm curious. You had 12 newcomers this season. Obviously, we're in an era where players are moving left and right. How do you establish a culture, and what specific steps do you take for your staff and players to buy into a common goal?
That's a great question. Well asked too. Any suggestions? No, but it's actually a great question because that's being the first year, in the way college basketball is now, like continuity, like my career wherever I've played or coached, like continuity is still underrated. Like as you're starting a program, I think it's that much more difficult when you have a new roster. Like if you can have the more returners that you can have, I think it's easier for the new guys to come in. And no, I think you have to get the type of guy that type of players that fit well together, right? So and they blend and mesh. It's hard, and sometimes you don't always get it right. But yeah, great question, and yeah, that's what we're aiming for here. And again, it takes time. You don't rush the process, but yeah, continuity is something I think everybody in college basketball would like. So that's what I'm hoping to do as the years go on at Utah.
Coach, it felt like ASU's pick and roll game was allowing you to find the roller very consistently toward the basket. What do you make about the pick and roll coverage you guys are playing on defense tonight?
I thought we did a good job for most of the night. Like we switched there at the end and we got some steals. But I think like for me right now, obviously haven't watched the tape, but I think it goes back to offense. The lack of passing I think disconnects us on defense, and then we stop talking. And guys are upset or whatever, then we're just like a step behind. But they did a good job. Like depending on what our coverages was, Bobby did a great job, and their players did adjusting to it and hitting the roll. But talking has been a point of emphasis for our team the whole year. Like that, they're not naturally talkers, and we've gotten better. But I think the offense and defensive end are connected, and it just kind of snowballs, and we're just a little bit late on everything.
One more.
Coach, Terrence Brown has only scored single digits 3 times all year. 2 of those games were against ASU. Other than the 2 fouls he picked up early, just what do you think it is about the matchup that maybe gives Terrence or the group as a whole?
Terrence had a great year. Terrence and it's interesting going through it. We had the preseason and the Big 12, but like Terrence, like the rest of our guys, like again, learn to do things without the ball, right? Like there's a difference between hunting shots and points and letting him come to you. And that's like the best and worst part about Terrence. I tell him all the time is he plays so hard and he wants it, but sometimes you just gotta, cerebrally think out the game, and the best way sometimes isn't just to do the same thing harder and faster. Kind of let it come to him. And he's made big strides. Like the starting of the game was credit to him, made some passes, got into the paint, and again, I think sometimes he tries a little too hard just to score, and ASU does a good job. I think the zone, hurts him a little bit too.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.